So what's happening is my team of guides is actually working with them from the other side, and they will start to line them up. Sometimes they might come through 1 or 2 at a time. Sometimes they might get in lines of like 4 or 8. It's just the way that I work with my guides. So I'm going to go ahead and start with people introducing names, talking to me about health relations, talking to me about the connections between you and them, and then that's when everyone will start to raise their hands and I'll come to you, okay? I know the Father Energy Thomas is already here because I'm already feeling him. Is he one of the main ones for you? Okay, because I'm being told one of the main ones. So that means that he's not the only one that was on your mind. Do you understand it? Perfect. And there's a maternal energy you were hoping for as well? Perfect. Okay, good. Is there saying to me you were hoping for a maternal energy, but it's just that I'm feeling him first? Do you understand? Okay, wonderful. There's a gentleman standing just behind him, and I have to stop for a minute because he's already starting to introduce himself to me as well. So they're lining people up and I'm starting to actually see them. Okay, but there is a brother energy to somebody, because I was feeling him earlier, that has some kind of blood infection. He had other health issues. He had a blood infection and is some kind of like autoimmune disease or something similar. Do you recognize it? That's a brother to you? Okay. So that means that I'm going to start with your dad first and that family, and then I'm going to start with over here as well, okay? So I'm already feeling him, which is wonderful. Okay, good. And there's a father lost as well. Okay. Is he the main person this group came to hear from? He said, I'm their number 1. Do you understand it? Perfect. So he's there too. So we're going to start with the brother energy first, okay? All right, wonderful. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go back and forth between these 2 tables first, okay? So my guide's going to start to have everybody step in and introduce. As I'm starting to connect to these 2 tables, I already have other people starting to line up on the other side. And I know there's a father energy that passed really quick from the chest. Who recognizes that? Do you understand it? Do you understand it? Okay, so I'm going to leave that just for a minute, okay? Because I already have another gentleman stepping in. He's doing this. He's saying to me there's cardiovascular issues. Even though he passed quick from the chest at the end, I know there's several complications in the chest leading up to. Do you guys understand it? Do you understand it? Father energy for you? Perfect. Okay, good. So what they're doing is they're starting to line up, and they're starting to make me feel health complications, and then they'll start introducing themselves as well, okay? But there's like a huge long line. And there's this really cute lady that keeps trying to come to the end. She's so funny. I'm sorry, I have to stop and laugh. She's about as short as I am, and she has white curly hair, and she shows me that she had glasses in the end, even though they don't wear glasses on the other side. I'm seeing her clear as day, and she's going like this with the gentleman going, move along, it's my turn soon, let's go. So she's like all excited, and I'm like, just wait, honey, I'll get to you. So, so funny. Sometimes what they do just makes me laugh. So, but I can hear her in this row back here, and she's already cracking me up, which is just, oh my goodness, a mess. And who recognizes the lung cancer? You guys recognize the lung cancer as well? Okay, you recognize the lung cancer, honey? Okay. Because in this long row line right here, somebody's already starting to make me feel their lungs right here, and I start to get sick to my stomach, and I know there's lung cancer sitting in the system. Do you understand it? Okay, good. Is this one of the people you came to hear from? Okay, that's all. I'll get to them, but all I kept hearing is, she's here for me. Do you understand? Okay, good. And who's the parental energy past for you? Parental energy, it's a mother energy. Okay, there's a mother energy with this parental energy stepping in. Do you understand it? Meaning there's a grandmother stepping in as well. So I'm going to leave it, okay? Because sometimes what will happen is, if one main person steps in for you, There can be 2 or 3 just behind them for supportive energy. So I'm being told there's a maternal energy stepping in as well as far as grandmother. Do you understand it? But do you recognize the person with the lungs? Okay, and who's that for you? Perfect. So that just means that maternal energy back the generation is coming through with him. So whether grandmother or great-grandmother, she's going to be here giving him supportive energy. But I'm feeling him, and I was being told lung cancer, parental energy. Do you understand it? It just means that she's going to be here for support. She might say a few things to you, whether you had the connection or not, any guidance for your life, and she's just going to give love, support, and energy for him. Okay? Wonderful. Good. Okay. So those are just ones that are already lining up that I know I'm going to come to, okay? But I feel like I'm supposed to start over here first. As I start to come to both of these tables, there's like a huge long line of loved ones. So that means we might really get into some ancestry here. Okay, so I don't know how many people are going to come through for this large group, but you recognize the father with the chest complications. Okay, perfect. Somebody's taking my breath away. He recognizes the emphysema. I'm being told on that side. Complications with emphysema, lungs, complications with emphysema. Okay, I just know it's not over here in this group on this side. I'm just feeling the push over here. Do you understand it? So, okay, good. Because the person right now is starting to try to get my attention. They're cutting off my lungs right here. I feel like I can barely catch a breath, and they're saying to me complications with emphysema. Do you understand it? Okay, perfect. Actions led to smoker. Okay, so that's why I'm asking, okay? They'll always say actions led to if they smoke, because people can get emphysema without actually smoking. Do you understand it? So, do you understand it? Okay, perfect. So when they say actions led to, that's how I know it's their way of taking responsibility, even though I feel like it's progressive and it took a while to set in. Do you understand it? It's still their way of saying responsibility for the years leading up to. So I'm just going to wait until I come to you guys, okay? Wonderful. Unless they start to drag me over there. But I feel like this is where I'm supposed to start, okay? And who here had the miscarriage? Perfect. So I'm being told there's going to be validation about that. You never found out what the baby was going to be? Because they're saying not known to me. And you have a father that's passed? I'm being told he's the one giving the information for you. Okay, so as he starts to step in, I'm being told he's the main person. There's the brother energy with the blood infection. Do you understand it? Okay, and then I'm being told he has the soul of a baby with him that he wants to validate as far as a miscarriage loss that was not known. Do not very many people know about this? Okay, because he said, I don't want to give her secret away, but I want her to have peace. Do you understand it? Okay, so I'm starting to already feel him. Is this your husband? Husband? Okay, because he makes me feel like I want to sit beside you, because he said, go sit beside my wife. Okay. I'm sorry. Maybe we can just switch chairs. There we go. That works. Okay. Does anybody recognize the name Charles? Charles? Who recognizes that? Okay, perfect. So I will just wait for that, because he's already saying to me, hey, my name is Charles. I'm right behind you. Do you understand it? Okay, so I will get there. Okay. One of the people you wanted to hear from? Because he's saying to me, she's waiting for me. Do you understand that? Perfect. So, Okay, that might be why he's excited. So I'm just going to leave him. Who called him Charlie? He's like, you can call me Charlie if you want to. And I said, okay, that's what I'll call you when I start to talk to you. Do you understand it? So he's already given me his name. And who is this for you? Because they're already saying FAT. He was already making me right father. Do you understand it? Perfect. But sometimes they say father, and I just feel father energy. It could be father or grandfather. Because some people don't always have the connection with the parents, and they might be raised by grandparents instead, which are still a parental energy. So all I was getting was father energy for him, so I knew that it's a father energy. But again, that can be father or grandfather. Do you understand it? Okay, good. He's the main person on your mind today, honey? Because he's like, I'm her only one. And I said, okay. So I'm going to start to listen to him as well, okay? But he's asking me to already call him Charlie. Okay. So I think I might just start with you and then come back. So, all right? Oh, you're okay, honey. I just want to face her a little bit, okay? So he's actually taking his energy. He's walking down the line between the chairs. And he's standing right beside you. Okay? So he's on your right side. All right? I just want you to relax for a minute because he's putting his hand on your shoulder. Okay? So I just want you to tell me if you feel any pressure, if you feel any warmth, or if you feel any cold. But he's saying to me his name is Charles. But there you go. Okay? Listen, this is the way that I'm going to explain it to you. When I connect to the other side, I am so warm because I feel all the love. Now, if I go and I sit with my family and my family members start to come through from the other side, I will be in my aunt's house in Delaware and we're throwing blankets on ourselves because it's freezing. Because I'm connected to my loved ones. So most of the time when I tell people that their loved one is standing beside them, and that's what they're doing in that moment, what can happen is most of the time people who are connected to them, as far as biological blood, they'll feel more of the cold and the pressure than they will feel the warmth. Do you understand it? Now, I can communicate with anyone in spirit and I'll feel the hot and the warmth, but if I communicate with my own bloodline, it's just the way that I feel it because everybody's different. It doesn't mean that's the rule of thumb. Do you understand it? I am freezing when I communicate with my loved ones, okay? So it makes sense to me as to why you're feeling the coldness. All right? Perfect. Wonderful. Good, 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 good. So I'm just going to listen to him talk, okay? So he's standing right here, and he's just going to start passing information to me. Okay. Okay, perfect. He's saying to me that he hasn't been gone from you very long. Do you understand it? That's how I know it's more of a recent passing. Do you understand? Perfect, okay? Because I always want them to say longevity, which is over 20 years, if it's more of a recent passing, and what's with the month of November? Perfect. Okay, because remember, I always want them to talk about their name, give a specific date, and then talk about the health relation. He hasn't given me the health relation yet, but I feel like he just wants to be vocal with you. So I'm just going to let him talk. I always want them to give me all three, but sometimes they give me two because they get eager and excited, and that's how I feel about him, and that's okay. Do you understand it? But he had several health issues. Okay, because they're showing me the medication bottles, and he keeps saying to me there were several health issues, and his body started to shut down. So I'm just going to leave it. Do you understand? Okay, good. But he's saying Charles to me. He's asking me to call him Charlie, and he's saying November, which means he's already given me one of those dates. Okay? And you were very close to your dad? Okay, because he makes me feel like I want to hug you, and that's the closeness. If they show me going over the railroad tracks or feeling like I'm getting on a roller coaster, that usually means that you had your ups and downs, and then sometimes they'll make me feel distance because sometimes there can be regret or fighting before somebody passes, and there was never any time to repair. He makes me feel like I want to hug you, and that's how I know you're very close. Do you understand? Okay, I feel like I need to, I'm going to come back, honey, okay? But I feel like I need to come and stand beside you for a minute, okay? So I'm going to come and sit in this chair for a minute because he's right here, and I want to be able to, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I want to be able to actually talk to him while he's standing beside you. Okay? Okay, perfect. I promise I'll come back. It's just what happens. Everyone gets so excited, and I'll start to connect to one person, and somebody's energy will be stronger, and they'll be like, oh, no, I'm first. Or sometimes what will happen is they need to pull them through first because they only have so much energy. So if I don't take him now, I may not get to him later. Okay? So that's why we're starting here. Wonderful. Yeah, he's saying November to me. And who was in the service? Okay, because I'm getting the saluting and I'm hearing the taps. Do you understand it? Perfect. Okay. So it's the validation of the service. Do you understand? Wonderful. Good. I'm being told he wasn't the only serviceman in the family. Do you understand? And I'm starting to see the green army uniform. But I'm being told older generation, meaning there's men stepping in just behind him. Somebody's making me smell really, really strong cigar smoke. And what will happen is, even though he's the main person you're communicating with, when it comes to them validating that they served in the country, sometimes other people that are with them in the family will actually step forward and start to validate themselves as well. And there's an older gentleman behind him saying World War I. And then I have a gentleman standing here showing me a green army uniform. Do you recognize both of those? Perfect. So I'm just going to leave that. Okay, wonderful. That just means that they're here with him as well. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to listen to him talk. Because my guide's saying to me, I'm only going to have him for a minute or two. So I want to try to get anything out of him that I can. Do you understand that? Okay. You don't have very many items of his? No. Okay. Because he said she really doesn't have a lot in mind. That's why she brought the keys. Do you understand it? Okay, good. Did you want him to actually talk about those, or were you just getting excited about saying it? Because he goes, it's not about the validation. She just brought it because she thought it would bring me to her. Do you understand it? Yeah. Perfect. Good. That's what it's about. Now how people hide stuff, people wear stuff, whatever. I always want them to validate that. I don't feel like it's a validation. That's why I had to stop and ask you. And he said she was getting excited. Do you understand it? Meaning it was just your eagerness, and that's okay. Wonderful. Good. All right, Mr. Charlie, what else do you want to say to me? You feel like you didn't have a full goodbye with him, honey? Do you understand? Okay. Is he saying to me he wasn't fully vocal in the end? Do you understand it? Okay. So sometimes we can actually take different ways of being able to say goodbye to our loved one, but sometimes they are not able to say everything that they want to say to us. And he's doing this to me, and that's how I know he's not fully vocal. But you feel like there was things you got to say to him, but not in the way that you wanted to, meaning you wanted the time with him to be different just before the time of the passing. Do you understand? Okay. So what they're going to do is they're going to take me to that passing state. He's going to make me feel what happened as far as the soul release, because my guides are saying he's going to show me the crossover. I'm going to be told who met him. Okay, so he's going to show me that, and then I'm being told there's going to be a message for you of things that he wished he could have said to you. Do you understand it? Okay, I have to explain to people, when I do groups like this, again, whether it's 40 or whether it's up to 300, because that's what I'm doing right now, is I might only have just a few minutes with someone, because on the other side, it's nothing but unconditional love, and there is no anger and there is no judgment. So as people start to come through from... He's making me feel his love for you, so just ignore me if I start crying. What happens is I really take on their emotion very strongly. I might only get just a few minutes, because in a group setting like this where I have around 50 people or just over, I can have at least 1,000 people hanging out in spirit, okay? Because sometimes those older generations come through and come along as well, all right? So what happens with this is you might only get just a few minutes, and it's just because my guides are trying to move them through, and they're trying to be also courteous of everyone else that's coming through, so I can offer as much healing as I can for the few short hours that I'm open, okay? So what I tell you today, if you did a private or a smaller group, it would be even stronger than what he's given, okay? So I'm just going to listen to him, and it's just my way of saying there's only so much time that I'm going to have with him, that's all, okay? Good. Alright, he's starting to take my breath away. And what's with the organ shutting down? Because he keeps saying organ failure to me. Do you understand it? Okay. So he's laying me in the bed right now. I'm being told by my guide the reason I was feeling the medication bottles is because there was several health issues, and I'm being told there's organ failure that comes along with this, okay? Because he's starting to make me feel my body is shutting down, and he's saying organ failure to me. We're not going to get into the specifics of the health complication, but I know that you recognize it. Do you understand? Okay. Because he has me laying in the bed, and he said that he had to be watched over and taken care of 24/7 in the end. Okay. And there was complications with breathing as well, because he's cutting my breathing off. Do you understand it? So that's how I know that he needed on and off support for that as well. Okay, because I start to feel like there's oxygen there. Do you understand? Okay, good. And what's with the decisions made? Because he keeps saying, tell her all the right decisions were made after the passing. Did you question that? Okay. They will say this sometimes if you don't know all the full wishes. Sometimes, and this is the way I'm going to explain it to you, because he's saying to me it's about the wishes. Do you understand it? Sometimes you know their wishes in full. Sometimes you might only know part. It's his way of saying the decisions that were made after the passing, that he thanks you for and the family for the honor. Meaning you chose to do the right things, meaning you didn't know 100%. Do you understand it? Perfect. Okay, I'm going to start to feel his soul release.